William Wallace has just been announced as the brand new Wheel of Fortune infantry commander coming to Rise of Kingdoms. Join me to learn more about this awesome commander. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms gameplay episode from your very own Shappy Gaming. Today, we are going to be talking about the brand new infantry commander just announced, William Wallace. William Wallace, I'm calling it now, is going to be the new meta infantry commander in Rise of Kingdoms, and I am pumped. Now, today we're going to be going over who the best pairs are for William Wallace, what my take is on this commander, we're going to be reading through all of his different skills, and I'm going to give you generally my thoughts on this commander and what he means for the rest of Rise of Kingdoms. And before I jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right-hand corner. If you want to learn more about this commander, we will be doing a testing, and just based on this, I'm thinking I'm going to insta-max him. Also, if you want to check out specific sections of the video, be sure to check the chapters below. You could jump to wherever you want. Now, with that, let's talk about this commander. William Wallace has infantry, versatility, and a new skill, Smite, which we'll be talking about at the end. Smite is absolutely game-changing when it comes to talents, and this is going to be super overpowered. Now, let's walk through some of his skills, because I think his skills give us a really good read on what this commander is actually going to look at. So the first thing is, Smite damage is back! He deals Smite damage to a single target troop, damage factor 2400. 2400 is massive. I believe this is the same as Belisarius Prime. So again, single target damage, whatever, but it's Smite damage, which we love. And then he also deals extra Smite damage to up to 3 enemy troops currently attacking this commander's troop. That's huge. Why? Because this makes him swarm-proof. And we love swarm-proof infantry commanders. We needed a swarm-proof infantry commander. Pakal and Harold are gone. They are long in the past. This is absolutely massive. This is also really exciting to me because if you're using a relic, you may want to put this guy with Attila, and then Attila gets even tankier. Oh my god, the possibilities are endless. I'm super pumped. This also is really nice because you have an AoE on this commander. Sure, you need to be targeted, but if you're not going to be targeted, he's going to obliterate you. And we're going to talk about pairings in a bit, but spoiler alert, there's only one other Smite commander that's in infantry today, and his name is Luce. He deals AoE damage, and you really want to get rid of him because he's going to hurt otherwise. Now, what about the second skill? Scott's Wahay. While this commander's troop is on the map, infantry units in their troop gain 10% extra health, 30% attack, and 20% march speed. This is the one skill that I'm not crazy about. And why? Health, 10% is really low. For his kit, I really would have wanted to see more, especially if we're looking at a tanky commander. But beggars can't be choosers. The 30% attack is going to be nice, but it's not unusual as we look at, just skill basis. Some commanders have more, some commanders have less. 30% is kind of whatever. The other thing is you're going to offset that with KVK attack as well. So I would have preferred to see defense here instead of health and attack, but what can you do? 20% march speed is actually really interesting to me because infantry are typically very slow, but 20% march speed is going to be a big difference. And when we go and we look at some of the other commanders, we're actually going to talk about, march speed bonus and how fast you can get, because this is going to make a big difference. We'll just have to see how it plays out in the game. Moving on to the skill number 3. So this is Lion of the North. This commander takes 10% less normal attack damage, and whenever this commander's troop deals Smite damage with a damage factor greater than 1000, there's an 80% chance that the damage will be increased by 40%. This is crazy, because if you're pairing him with Luce, every time Luce's active skill triggers, you're going to be dealing 40% more damage, right? Because his skill damage factor is 2250. The other thing is, if you it's going to be crazy because you're going to be chaining this. The cooldown is 10 seconds, which is kind of a bummer, but honestly, in order to make this balanced, that's kind of what they needed to do. So I'm not feeling too badly about that. Overall, this is absolutely crazy. Now, they also call out that you're going to be taking less smite damage and less basic attack and counterattack damage, which means, again, this commander is going to be really tanky, even if you didn't get that defense buff, which, again, I really would have wanted to see. And the fourth skill here is when attacking a troop on the map, this commander's troop deals 10% more smite damage and 10% more normal attack damage. Again, this is crazy. If you put him with Attila and Relic, it's going to be nuts because you get the normal attack damage buff. If you put him with Luce, you get that smite damage bonus. My mind is absolutely blown. I'm so excited about this commander. But let's look at the expertise real quick, because how can he get any better, right? Whenever this commander's troop uses an active skill or is slowed, it dispels all slow effects from up to 3 nearby allied and friendly troops. In other words, slowing is dead, it's gone, we're not getting slowed anymore. And then grants them a damage-absorbing mighty shield for 2 seconds. Why does this matter? This is crazy, because if you're using Guan Yu in the field, he's now going to be getting a shield and dealing that silence damage and bonus shield damage just by having this guy in the field. So he's buffing your other 5 marches, 3 in this instance, but the odds that any of them get the buff is there. And you're getting a shield, which again, procs with other skills. This is insane. This is absolutely broken. I'm so excited. Again, I'm insta-maxing him, no question. So who should we be pairing him with, right? That's a big question. I don't know how much of a question it is, but that's what we're looking at now. So let's pull up our in-game and look at some of the commanders that we can pair him with. The first and most obvious choice to me is obviously going to be Luce. Now, why Luce? Luce has a massive amount of smite damage already, and he's going to debuff his targets, 40% march speed bonus, right? So they're going to lose that 40% march speed. That's huge because it's going to make it so you could chase him down. But not only that, the synergy is also here when it comes to that march speed. You're getting 40% march speed bonus with both of these commanders. Your infantry might actually outrun cavalry, and they can chase them down and kill them with all of this amazing skill. But that's not all. We mentioned that we're looking for defense. Luce has defense. You have a defense bonus, and you're taking less skill damage. So now you're taking less skill damage from Luce, and you're taking less normal attack damage from William. So you're just taking less damage overall. The only thing you're really missing here is health. Okay, and what about this one, right? This third skill, if the commander's troop's attacking another troop on the map, infantry units gain 20% attack, so now you get even more attack. And whenever your troop launches a basic attack, you have a chance to deal even more smite damage. So now you can be dealing up to 600 smite damage just based on RNG. His commander is going to be the biggest pain in the butt to test, but again, I am going to be testing him. Drop a like on the video if you're excited for that. I'm pumped. But this is already really, really good synergy just between these two commanders. And this fourth skill, if their troop is on the map, you deal 10% more normal attack damage. That's bringing us up to 20% normal attack damage now. And whenever you deal smite damage, the target deals 10% less damage. So you're now dealing an extra 40% smite damage between both of these commanders, and the target is getting a debuff of march speed, they're getting a debuff of damage dealt, and you are taking less skill damage. This duo is just broken. Oh, and not to mention the expertise if you get to, launch an extra basic attack. This is absolutely crazy, right? Launching an extra basic attack, again, increases your chances of proccing this RNG skill. This is nuts. Who else could you pair him with, right? There are a couple options, right? You could always put him with Scipio. I like Scipio. He has the AoE coverage, which you're going to need. But again, honestly, looking at William Wallace's kit, I'm thinking he really needs to be primary. So you could do Scipio. You get a nice march speed bonus. You get an attack bonus. But really, the real benefit here is going to be that health bonus. But I think you have to put him with Luce. I think you have to. Now, Attila, I really like because you also get a normal attack damage bonus and a counterattack damage bonus and attack reduction. Again, this is only for Relic. We're not suggesting Attila just for funsies. Only in a Relic KVK can you use Attila. But I don't know. Luce is going to be so broken. I think you have to put those two together. That's my call right now. Now, before you leave me, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. We have to talk about this new Smite damage and what this means. So here's the Smite damage talent tree. And let's actually look through what this is. So they've added a bunch of new talents here. To the Bitter End, which gives you every 10 seconds after this commander's troop enters a battle, it gains a 2% bonus to all types of Smite damage dealt, up to 10%. What does this mean? Well, for one, you're already taking less damage because we have all of those skills that make it so we take less damage. But this is also now increasing all damage dealt up to 10%. And if you're tanky, which we know we are, you're going to be dealing almost 10% damage all the time. But that's not all. You also have Thick Skin, which makes it so this commander's troop takes 6% less skill damage. And here's a preview of that new talent tree for you. And that's going to be over here, which is also a huge buff. 6% less skill damage is awesome because you're also stacking that with your other skill damage reduction buff that you're getting from Luce. Now we have Fight or Flight. Whenever this commander's troop deals any type of Smite damage, all troops hit by the damage lose 45% rage. That's a huge debuff. That's nuts because you're going to be firing off Luce's random skill. You're going to be firing off Wallace's RNG skill. You're going to be firing off both their active skills. You are debuffing a ton, and there's no cooldown on this 45% rage reduction, which means that anyone who you hit is going to get absolutely obliterated. They're not going to be able to fire off a skill, and when they do fire off a skill, it's going to do nothing to you because you have all this skill damage reduction. Now, we also have number 4 here, which is Thunderous Strike. Whenever this commander's troop deals any type of Smite damage, there's a 10% chance the damage will be increased by 10%. You know, just the cherry on top, things get even more broken. But those are just the new skills that they're calling out. You notice they've built a whole skill tree here, and there are 4 other skills. So what are those skills? I'm so glad you asked. The first of which, let's move this over here real quick so I can show you, is absolutely nuts. So if we look at that hammer skill there, it should look a little familiar. And the reason that it looks a little familiar is because it is on the attack tree. And that hammer is actually called Martial Mastery, which makes it so this commander's troop deals 6% more normal damage of all types, but also deals 3% less skill damage. That's that skill right over there, which again is nuts. Here you go. 6% more normal attack damage. That's what that hammer skill is right there, which is crazy because that's just, you're dealing so much additional damage. Now, we also have our rage reduction, right? Whenever you get attacked by any type of basic attack, you get 6 extra rage. That's that other skill that you're seeing there. So they've taken a couple of these from the attack tree, which I would expect. And I believe that one of these is a normal attack bonus as well. Let me just see real quick. But I believe that's what that one is. Let me see. If we pull up someone with a defense tree, what do we got? I am pretty sure that that little thing on the right there is a normal attack damage buff. So you're also going to be getting an additional normal attack damage function. So I'm just trying to find that and see, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And if it is, that is again absolutely crazy because you're dealing even more normal attack damage. This commander is going to absolutely break Rise of Kingdoms. If you're as excited as I am, be sure to drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be maxing William Wallace. You should be maxing William Wallace. He's going to be paired with Luce, and he's going to break Rise of Kingdoms forever. Do I think that Smite is now restricted to just infantry? No, and here's why. They just built a whole new talent tree that we're looking at. A whole new talent tree. They're going to be expanding this to include other commanders, cavalry people. I know you want it. It will happen. I don't think this is restricted to just infantry. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed, hit that subscribe button right over there, bottom right hand corner, and drop a like on the video. Hit the bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Thank you all. William is going to be crazy. Shappy out.